Hi crafters! So today I'm going to show you how I made this card. I don't have the sentiment on it yet. I'm not sure what I want it to be, but the focus of the video is the Inktense pencils and not so much the final card. So I love how you can make your own designer paper. You can do so much with these Inktense pencils. So let me show you how I did this and a couple of techniques that I use. So first we're going to stamp. Now on that particular card I actually black embossed the flowers. Found out it didn't really make a big enough difference to warrant the extra effort. So I am just going to use my Memento ink, which is all I did on the leaves of that card, was use the Memento ink, and I did not emboss the leaves. And you can tell that there's really no difference. So not worth the hassle. And the Memento ink, I'm going to be using some water with the Inktense pencils. It won't smear or blur anything. It's the Memento Tuxedo Black. I love that ink. So the first thing I'm going to do is just randomly stamp some flowers on here. My preference is always to have some that are going a little off the page. And then I'm going to stamp my leaf. Just any old way. Okay. And again, I'm not going to color this whole thing. The goal here is just to show you some of the things that I do with the Inktense pencils. And hopefully, let's see if I need to zoom in a little bit. I'm not too good at this. I'll zoom in so maybe you can see a little better. I'm using the Inktense pencil set. They're by Derwent. I'm using the 36 count. Love these. I am going to get the 72 count because I am so in love with these things. So what's great about them is you can put on multiple colors at one time. You can blend on the card that I made earlier. I went back after I had done some blending and thought, oh, I want to add a little more. So the colors that I'm going to use on this scallopy color is cherry and chili red. So let me just show you some basics. These pencils look great if you just use them dry, and then you can do some really cool stuff with them if you use water. So I want to use the water today. Where is my, there's my paper towel. Okay. So first we'll do this one. And do I have the right one? Cherry. Yeah, I did cherry on the outside scallop. Normally what I do when I'm trying to pick colors for blending and for a card, and what I want to do is I'll work with them on scrap paper first before I commit, if you will. This is cherry red. Since I'm going to use water, I don't have to do a fantastic job and get every little piece, because as soon as you see what happens when the water hits it, you'll see why. So on this one, like I said, it would look great if all you did was the colored pencil. I use a water brush, but I don't like the water in the brush. So people are like, well, why don't you just use a paintbrush? I like the feel of this brush. Some people use it with the water in it. I like a little more control because you can accidentally squeeze and get too much water and that'll mess up your project. So I just like the feel of it. And I can switch between colors without, you know, paintbrush. You got to make sure you clean it and all that kind of stuff. Sometimes I'll do this to get some excess off, but for the most part you can easily switch colors. It's great. So I'm just going to put a little bit of water on the tip. And watch what happens. I'll hold it up a little bit. When the water hits that, it becomes even more vibrant. I won't be able to do the whole thing holding it because I'm not good enough. But, so this is just for your basics. You just dampen the tip of your brush and swirl it around. It's kind of like painting. But what's cool about these pencils is I can go back if I want to add a highlight later, or I want to darken it up a little bit. I can go back and color back over it again, and I'll show you that on the tulipy looking flower. I'm talking and getting all out of lines. You just get this one little piece done here. And since you're using this brush, that's why you don't really have to do perfect into all the white space, because that brush, when you get it wet, you can go around and fill in any gaps that you're missing. So this next layer I'm doing chili red. On my original card I did do a little bit of highlighting with a Shiraz color. It didn't make a whole lot of difference on these two. They're so similar and close. But I'll show you more highlighting techniques again on the tulipy type. Just get this. I wanted to get another second red color in here. This is chili red, so you can see when that water hits it again. Looks great. You don't have to use the water, but I love the effect, and I love the watercolor effect that it gives you. And you could do this on watercolor paper and it would look super cool. I happen to not have any on hand, so I'm just using a thick basil. I think it's marshmallow. So that's the simple, not really doing any shading or anything, but let me find the Shiraz color. It's still out here. I'll go back. This red, I've already put the, I did the water on it. I'm going to go back and I'm going to add a little of this Shiraz color. Notice I'm just coloring right back over where I was. Going to grab a little more water, and then you can see it spreads that color. So once you have a layer, if you want to change the color or add things to it, you can totally go back and do even more. And so it's given me a little bit of shading on that. So let's go to this tulip one. I did a little more shading on this and kind of mixed my colors a little bit. Make sure I get the right ones out. For this one, there's Shiraz, a dash of yellow every now and then. Again, like I was saying, you can just play around with it. It's great. So this is the red violet. Let me just do this one section. So I want to show you a couple of different techniques. So this one I'm just using this one color, and I'm going to get it wet. Love how that looks and how vibrant those colors come out. All I'm doing is swirling around. I'm not an artist, so I certainly don't know if there's some brilliant technique I should be doing. I just do whatever I enjoy. And I like kind of swooshing it around. Okay. Cool. So on that one, I didn't add any additional colors, but on this next one, I will. So this one, I'm going to do the red violet. I'm not going to do it quite as thick. You can see that there's some more white space and gaps in there a little bit. And now I'm going to pick up the fuchsia color. This one's going to give it a little more pink. It's kind of on the edges. I have absolutely no clue what the right way is to highlight stuff. I just do it. And the beauty of this is you can just play with it. So I've got two colors. See how pink that one is when I hit it with the water. Let me clear my thing so you can see the difference in the colors before I blend them. And then over here is the first color, the red violet that I used. Got a little too much water. So now I'm going to blend them all about, smush them all around. I don't like a lot of water. I'd rather go back multiple times than to get a ton of water. But you can see how, hopefully the camera's picking it up. It's a little darker over here. I've got a little more shading going on. Don't know how well that's picking it up. So now I'm going to go in. I'm like, I think I'm going to add a little yellow. So this has already been done. I think I'll add a little over here. So I'm just going to go in a color. It looks good like that. Sometimes I'll add a layer and I won't add water to it. I'll just add the layer. This time I'm going to go ahead and add a little, because I will probably, after it's done, maybe add some without adding water. So then you can see a really cool effect when I added that little bit of yellow to that. And again, I just did that after I had already done my layers, and you know, it was dry. I can add, even if it isn't dry, I can go in and add stuff to it. I'll add a little Shiraz up here, and I think I'll do Shiraz over here. It's nice and dark. The thing is, this is so forgiving. You can mess around with it and add colors and do all kinds of things. So let's see what we get here. And generally, if you mess it up, you can fix it by just simply adding different colors to pull it out. Love that. Now I realize these petals are not matching, and that's, I'm not trying to match them because I just want to show you some different techniques. Now what I'm going to do is mix these colors at the same time. So I'm going to, meaning before I add water. So I'm going to go in here with the red violet. I'm going to do it real, leaving a lot of white space. I'm going to come in with the fuchsia. Again, this looks good when you're done, even if you don't add the water. A little bit of Shiraz up here. And now I'll add the water and see what I get. To me, this is the easiest way to get a highlighted watercolor look, since I'm not an artist and I don't know the proper technique. I think these are cool, and these pencils allow anyone to be an artist. It's great. So cool. I think I'll add a little yellow now. So I added that yellow without even putting any water on it, and it looks kind of cool. So now I'll do that whole piece. I could leave it like that. It would look kind of cool. But here in person, it could use a little toning down. I'm just going to go over it with a marker. With a pencil. So in order to make this flower match, because eventually I will probably want to use this card, I'm going to go over the center one with a little bit of yellow as well. Again, I'm just going over these now, and I'm not putting water on it. I could. Won't hurt anything. So I did this one with no water. I'll put water on the middle one so that you can see it doesn't hurt anything, and it'll blend it even more than it blends with just using the marker. Throw a little over there. Okay, so those are some great ways to use your Inktense pencils, and that's how I did it on the leaf as well. I guess I should show you the leaf. So here's the finished card without the sentiment. I'm totally into twine. You'll see it on all kinds of things. Got some doodlebug twine on there. The leaf, just in case you want the colors, are felt green. I have no idea if I'm saying this correctly, but it looks like Ionian green, if I'm saying it correctly. And no leaf is exactly the same color, so when I did mine, I just sloppy went in like that. Added a little bit of the darker around the edge, maybe in the middle. Totally had no plan, just went. Use my water brush, and it blends those greens together beautifully. Ah, I love these. My husband and I are going out with friends tonight, dancing the night away for New Year's, and right now I'm like, I'd rather really just stay home and play. So hopefully I'll have time to play all day tomorrow, and I'll probably finish this so I can attach it to a card front. But there you have it, just some neat things that you can do with Inktense pencils. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed it, the video, please like us on YouTube and check us out on Facebook as well. Catch you later. Bye.